Hello, my name is Jocelyn Camacho, and I would like to share with you a little information. To begin, I'd like to share a fact. Did you know that thousands of children are being injected daily with subcutaneous injections that continue until they are adults? But these shots are not just vaccines or flu shots that prevent any kind of disease. Why, you may ask? To grow just a few inches. Yes, my persuasive speech is going to be about growth hormones and why I do not agree with them. I am completely against growth hormones, and here's a few reasons why. To begin, I'd like to point out that there are several risks that come with growth hormones. Is it safe? People ask. Well, there hasn't been very much research done. There were a few findings that state that there was the following short-term risk, which could be excessive leanness, increased blood glucose, and joint pains. There's also found of long-term risks and side effects, which include the increase of risk of breast cancer, prostate cancer, and other areas of cancer. Also, the risk of carpal tunnel syndrome, joint pains that don't go away with time. There was also research that took place, and according to a physicians committee, they conducted research with 45 participants that took the growth hormones, and through time they followed them throughout their lifetime, and 12 participants had been diagnosed with cancer and 10 died throughout that time. Most of them only got to live till they were 45 or 50 years old, and well, although that was a small number, it's still concerning to hear that those participants were on those growth hormones and they got cancer. And it's alarming to me as a mother, and I would never want to put my child through that just so he could grow a few inches. It's dangerous, and as a mother and a parent, I know that I wouldn't want to put my child through that. But many parents believe that growth hormones are important or recommend them because children, more boys than girls, are shorter than their age group. For example, boys fall below average if they are 5'3" or shorter, and girls if they are 4'11" or shorter. It is more common for parents of boys to put their kids through growth hormones because they are scared that their boys will be bullied throughout their lifetime, or they believe that their child's self-esteem will be low. As I understand, I wouldn't want my child to have low self-esteem, but I believe that with love and support, he could get through that if he was shorter than average. Like I said, I'm against it, and I would never want to put my child through anything that could harm him in the future or have in the short term even. And I don't agree with some of the parents who believe that they should put their child through this. Not only just the pain of all the shots until they finally hit that 2 to 4 inches of height that it's told that they will get when they get these growth hormones, but sometimes they don't get any results. Another of the reasons that I don't agree with it is the cost. What is the cost, you may ask? It is thousands and thousands of dollars yearly, and this also depends on what age you start your child on these growth hormones, whether you start them, when they're 12 or when they're 16 until they hit that final growth and you no longer have to keep them on these growth hormones. It costs approximately $40,000 to $50,000 a year. Can you believe that? A year. Do you know what you could do with that kind of money? You could set up a savings account for your child, put your child through college, buy a house for them in the future, or car, something that they actually need. I believe that that's the money that you should be focusing on for the future of your children rather than focusing on them growing a few inches. There's so many things that come with taking these growth hormones, not just, the pain of the injections, but the stress and the frustration that must be not only on the parents, but the children, the weekly doctor visits, and, maybe not even getting any results. I, it, it blows my mind to think that, children have to go through this because of all of this, but after all, we would do anything for our children, and I believe that growth hormone shouldn't be used in children. They should be old enough to decide that on their own once they get older. I've attached a PowerPoint that gives you a little bit of information of these growth hormones and what they do to children, and the long terms and short terms. So if you'd like to look, I'll go ahead and add that to my speech, so you can look at that. Thank you so much for listening.